Why is the flow state like jazz music? Keep watching to find out.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumet Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about how jazz music is very similar to the flow state, okay? The metaphor of jazz, playing in an ensemble, playing in a rhythmic, syncopated manner that's loud but rhythmical at the same time, that's making a statement as it walks through the world. It has a fluidity, a melody, and an ease associated with it. You know when you hear a really good jazz song and you hear every single instrument weaving in between the cracks, every single percussion, drum, it just fits in all the right pockets. Jazz musicians refer to the flow state as being in the pocket. A great example is the Disney movie Soul, where the man actually goes into this mystical realm when he starts playing the piano in his fluid way, in his jazz-like manner. So that's how you gotta be with your own life. You gotta be harmonious. Like all of the musical instruments in your life are playing together at once, which means that your health is acclimatizing, is synergizing with your wealth, okay? This means that your career is in line with your relationships. This means that the area of well-being is also trickling into other areas of your life. So if you understand this integrated approach rather than a one-sided codependent approach, which is more like a seesaw, I have to give this up so that you can get this up. Compromise. It doesn't have to be like that. So let me introduce you to this jazz flow state model, where the tubas need to be turned down and the saxophones need to be turned up a little bit, and you're just watching and calibrating your volume, but it's all playing together in this beautiful orchestra, this beautiful symphony that's being created. And it's all spontaneous, it's all improvised, right on the spot, right in the present moment. And it's riding that presence. It's riding that presence. Whatever it wants to do, you let it. You allow it. You surrender to the music of jazz. That is your life. So a lot of people, they can't really embody this jazz-like quality within themselves. Let me give you a few pointers. The first thing is to be okay with making mistakes. If you hit a hi-hat twice, you make it a part of your performance. You trademark it. You point out, hey, that was a funny mistake. And you keep moving forward. So that's the first mindset shift, that you got to keep moving forward, man. I'll make some mistakes here and there, you know, and that's fine. That's completely valid because I'm only human, baby. This is a spontaneous art form. Let's build on this. Let's improvise on this. Let's make this a better musical performance. And I say musical. So notice the way that I'm speaking right now. It has a melody to it. It has a rhythm to it, okay? There is a musical quality in my voice that I can start singing at any time, okay? Not like a Broadway musical or a Bollywood movie. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But you have that quality that you can go into a sing-song, lullaby-like quality, like when you're talking to someone and you just woke up. You know, that tired voice where you're like, hey, what's up? That tired voice, you can ride the wave of that. That has a jazz-like quality to it. Okay, some of you understand this quality. But I'm really trying to enunciate this in this video today so you guys can get an understanding. What am I doing with my gestures? I'm making a point. Just like that. I did that, right? Making a point. Notice that just as a gesture, right? I'm making a point. It's very swift, it's very concise, but it's also very spontaneous. So the playfulness is blended with the seriousness, which creates this jazz-like charisma. where I'm not like, hey, I'm goofy, where I'm here to do some goofy stuff. I'm not like a dancing monkey, like, hey, I'm here to impress you guys. I'm the entertainer here. It's none of that. You are simply entertaining. You're not trying to be the entertainer. For the fact that you can tap into this organic, natural quality of instrumentation, that you know your instrumentation, you know your faculties, you know your strengths. So basically what you're doing is you're just riding out on your strengths. That is the jazz-like vibe, you see. You're just writing the strengths. You're just writing the script as you're going along. It's not a predetermined script that someone else has wrote for you. No, you're living it through each spontaneous, eternal now. Another thing you can do is actually play some jazz music. As you mellow out, sit in one corner of your room, you know. It's better, even better if it's in the dark, complete darkness. Complete darkness. Light some candles, some incense if you like that, if you're into that. That's not a must, that's not mandatory, but it helps to set the mood, right? And as you have that quality, you're creating an atmosphere. Notice the jazz-like atmosphere, okay? The aroma plays into that a little bit. So what smells like jazz? Does it smell like cedarwood? Does it smell like, chamomile? I don't know. This is your chance to experiment with your vibe, because your jazz-like quality might have a little bit of a bluesiness to it, that you're activating that depression quality, but it's coming through your expression in such a way. Now, I don't recommend that you play that blues character. However, that's completely up to you. I'm just giving you some alternatives to work with here. Okay, so lights out, dim lighting, even better. If you can dim your lighting in some way, if you have mood lighting, even better. Blue mood light, accentuated, amazing, okay? Now, what you want to be doing is putting on noise-canceling headphones, preferably. If you have some noise-canceling headphones, that's an investment, guys, for your flow state, for real. If you're thinking, I'll spend money on some new books or spend money on some new clothes, why not a good pair of headphones? Okay? Very powerful concept. And it's one of the quickest ways that you can access flow, right? Through brainwave entrainment, through listening to subliminals, through listening to music, through listening to a podcast. All of these things, if you're an auditory learner, it's going to amplify everything for you. I'm an auditory learner. I'm also audiovisual in a sense. That's why I use a lot of media, communicate through media, right? Through videos like this. So really start to understand that, okay, now start listening to that song and just close your eyes and envision which parallel universe you drift off to, where you become the conductor of this orchestra. You become jazzy, you become jazz-like. Don't overdo it, okay? Don't overdo it, just observe, just allow. Make it a jazz meditation, okay? Make it a jazz meditation. Notice where your imagination takes you to. And once you have an internal feeling of that, make sure you capture it in some way. Anchor it to yourself. It could be a snap. It could be a clap of the hands. It could be some kind of signature that you do that reminds you, I'm going to tap into this. Now, the next time you tap into this is NLP, guys, right? You do the same thing and you access that state. So we're state hacking now using jazz, okay? Very powerful stuff. So now you have that jazz as a reference. Using that metaphor, using that reference, now you want to bring that element into your own life in some way. How can you implement this in your own life in some way? Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a song that you just keep playing and it's just stuck in your head and you can't get rid of it? No matter how many times you try to get rid of it, it just keeps coming back. That's that jazz-like quality that I want you to ensnare, okay? I use that word, musical terms, to speak to you right now because we're tapping into that musicality. The musicality. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, we teach all of this, by the way, in Writing Reality, okay? This is all to do with the actor's toolkit, how you can access this, okay? how you can tap into the different frequencies and different energies in people, how you can channel different energies, okay? This is very important when it comes down to being a flow state Jedi. All right? And I feel like Apollo today, man. Strong. Okay. Let me see here. What else do I want to tell you guys? As you're speaking, you want to be insinuating. Insinuating to what? Grand concepts. Like death, or God, or truth, or love, or sex, or money, or power, or dreams, or energy. All of these grand concepts that get you outside of your ego preservation toolkit that you've been programmed into. Your ego wants to protect you so bad. It doesn't want to keep you into that jazz-like frequency. We only access that jazz-like frequency because we get into egolessness. We're not attached to any archetype or character, but we still decide. We still commit. We still commit and embrace the now and what emerges towards it. And you lose that sense of trying to pretend or trying to impress. It's more of a quality of assuredness, okay? If you have that quality of assuredness, you can by golly, you can tap into this jazz frequency, okay? There's also refinement quality to this art form. Refinement. Remember this word, refinement. Refine something. I like the finer things in life. Oh, you're refining something. It's more classical, it's more simpler, it's more minimalistic, but it's still captivating. It's still full of vitality, vivacity, intelligence, enthusiasm, graciousness, poise, dexterity. These are the words associated with the jazz frequency. He's in the pocket, right? How do you think someone would walk in a jazz-like manner? How would they carry themselves in a jazz-like manner? Like, for instance, right now you guys can't see, but I have one hand in my pocket with one thumb out. Again, insinuation, innuendo, but still a gratitude, a freedom in expressing yourself, a mellowness, a laid-back quality, but still, when the music hits you, you just let it take over, You just let it take over, man. You're in that celebration, expression and celebration, riding the wave. Have you ever seen a drummer, like a jazz drummer? How he's going into it with his whole body. He's not half committing. Mobb Deep said, there's no such thing as halfway crook. Okay? Tyler Durden said, there's no such thing as half a gangster. So to be in this jazz frequency, you've got to commit. You've got to own it. So if you don't listen to jazz, how are you going to own it? You've got to listen to jazz or jazztronica. I love jazztronica because it's that embodiment of the new age with the old school. Again, that contrast, that contradiction, that paradox is mysterious. It's sexy. You want to incorporate this as a part of your character. I'm a character development coach. I help people to optimize their characters. Okay? That's where most people struggle. They have very weak characters. Okay? They say one thing, they do something else. There's a misalignment. So once you truly find that frequency for yourself, you find your signature essence, you align your flow code, you're like, I'm ready to go, baby. I'm ready to go, baby. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Boom.